a huge welcome to Samantha Mobley, from Frozen Soul. I'm so excited. I love getting female metal musicians on here as guests, so I'm really happy that you could join me today. So thank you very much.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
For people who might not know who you are, unlikely, but could you just introduce yourself? Who are you? What do you do?
Hello, my name is Samantha Mobley. I am the bass player for the death metal band Frozen Soul, and I'm also a tattoo artist, and I own my own studio called Heavy Metal Tattoo out in Fort Worth, Texas. So I play bass and I do tattoos.
What a life. That sounds great.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. What I like to do with my guests is just talk about, because I think metal affects us all very individually. We have all our own sort of journey into how we found metal. How did you get into metal? And then it's extreme metal. What was your journey into that?
Oh, well, I wasn't initially like it wasn't readily available to me as like a younger person. I kind of just stumbled upon it, and I don't know how old you are, but back in the day, um, there was torrenting services, so I would like download music and all this other stuff, and I like accidentally downloaded like some Slayer stuff, and yeah, before that I listened to like Kitty and Corn and System of a Down and stuff like that. But as soon as I heard Slayer, I was like, whoa, this is the shit. So
Yeah.
it kind of sent me on this like little rabbit hole. Um, and I just started listening to heavier and heavier music. And eventually I kind of came across like Dying Fetus and Cannibal Corpse and stuff like that. And I was probably like around 14 or 15. And I was like, it doesn't get any heavier than this. And that kind of sent me down the trajectory of, death metal stuff after that. But before that it was like, I'd hear Metallica on the radio or Pantera because they're from here. Pantera is, and you know, just kind of would listen to that passively. I liked it, but I wanted something heavier, so I kind of just naturally gravitated towards um, like death metal and black metal and stuff. So
Yeah. Awesome. So I'm 31. I don't know. I can't remember how old you are.
I am really weird about this, but I am in my 30s. I will say that.
Okay. So yeah, I get growing up with the torrenting and like I get it. I've burning CDs, all that kind of shit. Um, yeah. So I had a similar sort of journey, and I was 13, and before that I sort of heard like Linkin Park, Metallica, Korn, Slipknot, and then I heard Devil Driver one day, and it made me realize, oh, it can be heavier than like new metal and thrash metal.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah.
because new metal was super big when I was like, fifth, sixth, seventh
Mm,
grade. It was like that's when it came about. So it was just kind of like what was easily accessible. And I mean, it was something that all my friends listened to. So I was just kind of like, yeah, it's all right, but I want something like heavier.
yeah,
So I understand completely. So,
absolutely. So what are your go-to bands, like your favorite bands?
my favorite bands, I think it really depends on my mood, honestly. So, Dying Fetus has been a staple of mine since, like I said, I was 14. I love Cannibal Corpse. Pantera is always fun. Like when you're partying, they're kind of like a party band, and Hometown Heroes or whatever. I also like Drab Majesty a lot. That's a band I play a lot when I'm on tour because it's kind of calming
Hmm.
for me with everything going on. And like Typo Negative, I like Nine Inch Nails, Depeche Mode. I listen to a lot of non-death metal and metal stuff too, but those are pretty much it. Like the super go-tos for me for the most part. So
Yeah.
I always circle back around at some point to those. Also, True Widow is another one, another band from Texas that I really enjoy a lot. So listen to them a lot.
There's some good picks. And Depeche Mode, I love Depeche Mode. They're
Oh
really,
yeah, they're
yeah.
great.
You mentioned going on tour. Now, I asked this to the musicians I have as guests because I hear a lot of stories from like touring and like it gets crazy, but what are your best and worst parts of touring, like for you?
I think the best parts for me are getting to meet new people, see the world. I went to Europe twice last year, and I'm about to go next month again. Uh, just interacting with people all over the world and seeing different, sites, trying new foods, seeing, like, I got to go see the catacombs and stuff like that.
Oh wow,
Um,
awesome.
and I got to go to Stonehenge last year. That was really neat. Just stuff I would never normally get to do if I wasn't, in a touring band.
Hmm.
I'd say some of the worst aspects of it are, I was gone over 6 months last year, so I miss birthdays, special events, holidays, family stuff. I'm away from my dog. It's really uncomfortable for the most part.
Hmm.
And I don't think enough people talk about that. And I don't want to sound like I'm complaining about it because I'm grateful for everything, but it gets very taxing, especially towards the end of tour.
Yeah.
So when people are trying to interact with me and I'm just running on fumes, I may come across as like a bitch or something, but I'm really not. I'm just exhausted because it's like it's so go 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 go, and um, that's part of it that is one of the most difficult parts for me is if we got to be somewhere at for load in at noon or 1, sometimes that means an 8-hour drive in the morning.
Wow.
And sometimes you don't get, like, especially headlining, you don't even get out of the venue till 12 or 1 a.m. So by the time you get to a hotel, you're only getting a few hours of sleep, and then you got to wake up and do it all over again. And so that starts to get taxing, especially on like 6-week long tours, 7-week long tours. um, but for the most part, it's super enjoyable for me. It's just kind of, if you don't like super fast paced stuff, it's probably not for you. It's not for a lot of people, but the pros outweigh the cons for me. So
Mhm.
that's the main con. And like if you get sick,
Oh
that's,
yeah.
you just got to deal with it. I got injured twice last year on one tour and had to perform with a boot on and a broken rib, and that was really unpleasant for the remainder of the tour. I was in a lot of pain.
Wow.
So
That's insane. Good
yeah,
on
that
you
was
though.
not very fun.
Well done. That's amazing.
Thanks.
Wow.
But I was all healed up by the time we went to Europe for the summer festivals. But thank God. But that was a really brutal, like, 3 or 4 weeks for me. It was just, my ankle was so messed up and it was really painful. But yeah, the pros outweigh everything, and having these experiences I get to take away, and keep
Mm.
with me are worth all that other bullshit. So worth
Yeah.
more than that. So yeah.
Is there a band that you would love Frozen Soul to tour with that you haven't toured with yet?
Oh boy. I mean, if I had the option to, I mean, Bolt Thrower would be number one, but they're not a band anymore. I would love to tour with like Health.
Mm.
We played with them in Europe over the summer, and they were super fun. Their live show, that was my first time seeing them too, live, and they were great. I could watch that every night, I think. And I don't know, I kind of enjoy. Um, I mean, I love death metal and everything, but I kind of enjoy the non-death metal people that hop on bills and stuff because
Mhm.
they, bring different people and a different kind of vibe. Um, so like playing with like Converge, that was cool. That would be cool to do a tour with them at some point. I'd like to tour with Lamb of God. They seemed pretty nice when we played with them. Um, I'm trying to think of people we haven't played with because we've played with a lot of people this past year. Really, I mean, I've toured with most of the people that, you know, I would want to play with. So it's like,
That's
or,
amazing though. That's great.
yeah, it's been sick, and we have a really big tour coming up with, Cannibal Corpse, so it's like, and Obituary and Amon Amarth, so it's like all these people that I've looked up to over the years, and it's like, oh, and we're touring with them. That's so sick. Um,
Yeah.
so I probably Health is the one that immediately comes to mind,
Yeah.
or Nine Inch Nails or something because they're so active. But you know,
Awesome.
yeah,
I'm gonna come see you guys on your European tour.
hell yeah. Which show are you coming out to?
Copenhagen.
Oh, sick. Hell yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, it's a really cute, it's a really small venue, but it's like laid out really well. Like it's a
Oh,
really
cool.
nice they've got like an outdoors area and like a beer garden and then like the stage and it's really intimate. Yeah, it's a really cool venue.
Nice. That'll be fun. I
Yeah.
love beer gardens. They're awesome.
Mhm. Yeah. And we're in Scandinavia, so you can still smoke. So there's like an outside like vaping smoking area where you don't
Oh,
get
awesome.
judged. Not that I smoke, but I know a lot of people that do. So yeah, it's a great venue.
Nice.
Really.
Sweet.
Yeah. So I wanted to just go over your experience of being a woman in the metal industry. It is obviously a very male-dominated space. Sometimes I've heard some horrible stories from women in the scene. I've also heard some really positive stories, where it's just like one big family and like having brothers. And I'd love to hear your positive, negative, whatever experiences that you're happy to share.
Well, for the most part, for me, my experiences have been pretty positive. Um, we're kind of a quote unquote newer band. We've only, our demo came out in 2019.
Hmm.
So, 4 years with this kind of trajectory, it's been a lot to kind of take in
Yeah.
for me personally. And so I can only base this on the last couple of years really of touring because we missed out on a year and a half of touring also because of COVID. But I mean, for the most part, people have been super kind to me, very accepting of me. Fans have been phenomenal. Everybody for the most part has been really respectful and really kind, and it does give me a sense of community because sometimes I get really down about the state of the world, and I'm in America and there's just a lot of bullshit going on all the time, and sometimes it gets a little overwhelming for me, and so it's nice to find a community of people that you can connect with no matter where you go, and that's been like one of the best parts for me because I'm pretty antisocial and introverted for the most part. So it's nice finding those human connections wherever I go. That being said, when you're playing, people are drinking, and sometimes people are on drugs, or people are, not right in the head sometimes. And I've had some interactions with some people that have been less than savory for me. Um, that I don't think would have ever happened if I was, a dude.
Mm.
So, um, I just kind of have to learn from those, and I have, there's been some times where like men will cross boundaries with me, like trying to kiss me, or they have kissed me like on the mouth, or like one playfully choked me, and that was like not for a picture, and that was like not okay with me, like
What
stuff like that, and it kind of
what the
makes me,
fuck?
and yeah, it was really strange, and I like got in this fight or flight mode, and I was like,
Mm.
why would you do that? Like, because people will be like, oh, can you do, this, or can you hold up that in the picture? And I'll be like, yeah, sure, and
Mm.
do whatever. So he like jokingly was like, hey, can you like pretend to choke me out? And I was like, sure. And I just like gently, I was around his neck. I wasn't even
Mm.
holding him, I don't think. And then he goes, okay, now my turn. And then he just like grabs my neck. And I was like, hello? And
Oh my
so
God.
that's
Oh.
like immediately my mind reverts back to that instance. And I was just like, fuck no, bro. Um, Just
That's
like a
awful.
few out of pocket instances like that. It's very, very rare now.
Yeah.
But early on, that was kind of like a weird thing. Um, but everybody is really respectful for the most part. And yeah, I think because I am kind of like an anomaly, like, a lot of, there's not a lot of women in extreme music in general. It is getting better, but it's nowhere near the same ratio as men. So I think a lot of people, I would hope, have some respect for me and wouldn't pull that shit anymore, And so
Mm.
for the most part, interactions are very pleasant when I'm on tour and interacting with people. So,
Oh, I'm glad to hear
can't
that.
complain.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. But oh God,
Yeah,
oh, that actually,
that's
oh,
weird.
that is weird. You wouldn't even do like that's not a normal thing to do to anyone.
Yeah, I don't really know why he felt like that was okay, or if he just maybe was had too much to drink and didn't understand like that was inappropriate. But
Mm.
regardless, it made me very uncomfortable being in that situation, and I just kind of went back to the green room and you know I doubt he's listening to this, but it was just one of those things that's like super weird, and I have to be mindful of um of that when I'm on tour. Just most of the time, and I'm not trying to sound any kind of way, but men are women's biggest predator. So it's like, I just have to
Absolutely.
be careful of that kind of stuff. So
Mm.
um, I watch my drink. I don't take drinks from people.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just got to be careful, but I still have fun and I still party and stuff. But I just make sure I'm with, my bandmates or close friends and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, overall, my experience has been positive. I don't let a few turds, fuck that up for me. So,
Good. I'm glad. Um, do you mentioned women in extreme music. Do you have any favorite female musicians in extreme metal or just in general, actually?
um, Erica, I think you pronounce her name Osterhout. Um, she is the bass player for Mortuous, and she is Paul's girlfriend from Blood Incantation, and she
Mm-hmm.
is super talented, very pleasant to be around, super nice. I just casually ran into her at Cycle Las Vegas in 2022. We didn't really meet because we were both, I think, just kind of fucked up or whatever, but we were just like, hey, super nice. And I appreciate everything that she does, because she plays in death metal bands too. Um, of course, Joe Bench from Bolt Thrower, even though she's not active anymore, is basically my hero.
Mm.
Um, and she kind of pioneered some of this stuff for everybody. Um, let's see, I'm trying to think. Her name is escaping me right now, but the singer of Brat, she's fun.
Mm-hmm.
She is like I don't know if you've ever heard of Brat, but they're from Louisiana,
I
and
have. Yes.
yeah, she's like doing high kicks and all kinds of stuff and just having fun. Looks like she's having fun with it and being silly, and
Mm-hmm.
I can appreciate that. And that's really all I can think of right now.
Yeah, you've named some. I mean, Joe Bench is she's a
Yeah.
legend in her own. Absolutely. What has your favorite country been that you visited so far whilst touring?
Mm. I really, really enjoy Germany a
Mm-hmm.
lot. Um, I don't know what it is about the people there, but they just love metal. Like they are
Oh yeah.
metal heads. They're fanatics, and that is so sick. Like they're, when we played like what was it, Partisan over the summer, we did a signing and stuff, and like these people knew about my dog, were asking me about my dog. Like they were like asking me like about my tattoo shop, and speaking broken English, and I'm just like, that is so crazy to me that we're halfway across the world and you're like asking me these questions and you know of this. And it's just so sick. And it seems like they're just like down for whatever kind of metal. Like it doesn't really matter what the genre or subgenre is. They're just like moshing to it or having fun. And I really can appreciate that because so many people are like super pretentious about genres of metal, or gatekeepy or weird. And
Mm.
it's just cool to see people kind of cutting loose and having fun. They love to drink and party, which is nice. And Germany's just cool. I really like Germany. So I always have a good time when we go over there. I've had really nothing but good experiences for the most part, going over there. So
Yeah.
that's probably my favorite. I do know a lot of people like in the London area, I guess the United Kingdom. So uh, it's nice seeing them and visiting with them and stuff like that. I'm not the biggest fan of their food, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Y-
but
I'm
you
from
know,
the UK and I have to
yeah,
agree with that. We're not famous for our cuisine. That is
yeah.
true.
Yeah, it was kind of shocking the first time I went over there because, like, when you travel, that's part of the fun is trying new foods, and
Mm.
we were just all like, "What is
Well,
this British food? Why do they put beans on everything? Why is there tomato on here?" Like, we were just, it was so funny. But then we got used to it, and we're like, "Okay, we'll just bring hot sauce because we need like spice on our
yeah.
food."
Yeah.
um,
The beans thing I have to give you like I don't understand either.
it's very weird. I was just like, "Whatever, like beans for breakfast, okay."
Yeah.
Like, let's go with it. Let's roll with it. But yeah, those are probably my two favorite countries
Mhm.
or places that I've visited so far.
Have you guys played Scandinavia before?
Oh yeah, we've played Denmark and we've played Sweden, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Those are there, it's very beautiful there.
Yeah,
Um
it is beautiful. Yeah.
the first time I went over there though, it's like, I don't know if you've ever been to America or like visited over here, but
I haven't known.
it's very it's very overwhelming going to another place that you've only seen on TV. So it was like, you know the first time going over there, not only was I on a bus with 24 other men, and most of whom I didn't know at all.
Oh God.
It was just like, yeah, language barriers, currency, got to
Mm,
figure out currencies. I don't know what's going on. So a lot of this was really overwhelming the first time. So I kind of had a hard time adjusting to that. Because you're in a different spot every day,
yeah.
and so it changes every day. But the second time we went, I got to kind of chill a little bit because I knew what to expect. But I think this next time around I'm going to enjoy it even more because I fully have grasped everything, and can chill a little bit more and kind of see some more stuff that's going on or whatever. But
Yeah. See, I think, you mentioned that you're quite introverted.
mhm.
Scandinavian people are very introverted just by nature. They
Yes,
love their extreme metal, but they don't show it like Germans do, for example. Like they'll mosh a
yes,
little bit, but it's very much they're just sort of enjoying the music itself. Um, so yeah, that's the one thing I noticed when I moved here. Because in the UK it's not like that. Um,
yeah. The UK, everybody goes nuts. I mean, one of
mm,
our craziest shows was in London. It was super hot over this past summer, but people were still moshing and having fun and everything. I believe it was Paris. I want to say we played in Paris, and everybody just kind of was like standing there, and like we were warned ahead of time that like they're like, oh, they don't really like mosh a lot.
yeah,
And so like Switzerland and Paris and stuff in France, they all just kind of like were hanging out watching the show. It wasn't like a interactive like stage diving type of scenario like we're used to. So we were just like, what are we doing wrong? But everybody like reassured us. They're like, that's just how it is here.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of weird. But yeah, it's always, for me when you're playing, it's like you get what you give. So if you're giving me a bunch of energy, I'm going to give it back to you.
Mm.
But like it's kind of weird when everybody's just kind of standing there with their arms crossed, just like staring at you, and it's like, is my shit on? Like, can you hear me? Like, what's going on, bro? Um, so that was definitely interesting. I have never experienced that before, and so we
Yeah.
were just flabbergasted at it after after the show. Um, but beautiful. Denmark was really pretty. Poland was really interesting. I'd never been there. Very modernized.
Mhm.
Like, all we see is what's on the TV for America or, social media. And so sometimes it gets a little like skewed, I think.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed every time I've been over there, even if, weather is unfavorable or, circumstances are unfavorable sometimes. But
Mhm.
um, yeah, Germany and uh, all the British people have been really cool. So
Yeah. Hell yeah. We have our moments. We can be okay.
yeah,
Do you have any problems with like, I know you mentioned language barrier, but like in the UK, obviously we speak English, but we have words that for the same things that you guys have, like you call trousers pants and stuff. Like just because British people have a lot of slang. Has that ever been
yeah.
an issue, or have you picked up any on your travels?
I haven't really picked up any, but I always think it's so funny when I don't know, like there's all these memes. It's like it's cheese day, and like they just say stuff with
Yeah.
like a certain inflection, I guess,
Yeah.
and uh, I guess like cunt is a big thing, and like it means you're being a bitch or whatever over here, or like it. And so when you hear that, it's still a very jarring word, and you're just like, huh.
Yeah.
But there's like, I guess, a playful thing over there.
Yeah. It has a lot of different meanings. It can mean vagina. It can mean you're an idiot. It can
Yeah,
mean it's like a term of endearment. If you're really close to someone, you can call them a cunt
yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, I love you too." It's yeah, it's weird.
That's an interesting. That's an interesting one.
Mhm.
I can't really think of any more off the top of my head, but whenever I'm over there, I'm always like, that's so funny.
Yeah.
We had a Polish driver on tour this past summer, and he was saying some stuff, and like we kind of picked it up on the tour and we were saying it, but
Mhm.
I think we were so dead by the end of that tour we kind of forgot everything. So
That's fair enough.
yeah,
I,
it was a
I
little
can't
brutal.
imagine how physically draining touring must be. Um,
Oh yeah, there was no AC, which
oh,
when you're there in the first time we went over there in February last year, it was like, okay, that's whatever because it's really cold, so it's not
mhm.
as jarring. But the festivals this summer, like I guess it was a freak heat wave, like in London and stuff
Mm.
like that, and there's just no relief anywhere. So, and even in our van that we were in, there was no AC while the van was moving. So, like traveling, we had no air conditioner at the venue,
Oh,
no air conditioner, no fan. There was like, if you want an ice cold drink, forget about it. Like it was just like so hot everywhere. That's all I can remember from this summer. And I think at a certain point, it just kind of all made us a little bit crazy because we are just like, well, we can't go anywhere to get relief from this. So it's just like you kind of have to deal with it. But the winter time, I think, is the move to to go
mm.
to Europe because it's just cold. I can deal with the cold. I can't deal with the heat, even though I live in Texas. But
I'm very much the same. Like here in
yeah.
Europe at the minute, it's well, in Scandinavia, it's sort of, oh, I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit, but it's just above freezing here. So it's cold.
Whew,
It's very cold.
nice. It's
Yeah.
like God, I think it's 70. Yeah, it's 70 degrees and sunny right now
Hmm.
in Texas. I have the door open in the back. Um,
Wow. Yeah, see, I'm
yeah,
here in like 4 layers of clothing, like
that's crazy.
yeah. So
But yeah, I mean, it's just with that, it became a little bit more physically taxing on us towards the end of the tour. And access to showers is more difficult when we go over there. So, like, I went to Vakken and was stepping in what I thought was mud, but it's really just cow shit. And I didn't shower for like 2 or 3 days after that because
sure.
I was just didn't have access. And
Yeah.
you just have to kind of get over it. But at a certain point, like really, the sleep deprivation is what kind of gets you, especially with the time change and
Mm,
stuff like that. Because we basically like lose a day, when we go over there. So we're tired off the rip
yeah.
landing.
Wow.
Um, so it's like it takes a minute to get adjusted to it. I mean, we're going to be over there for about 4 weeks, so that'll be like the longest that we've been over there, I think. And
Hmm.
I think it's going to be good. So,
Bring warm clothes.
oh, I will. I've actually started packing already. So
Awesome.
I try to pack a couple weeks ahead of time and get prepared. It's a
Hmm.
lot of stuff. So,
Cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what merch you guys are bringing with you because I haven't got any Frozen Soul merch and that is something I'm not happy with. So I will be buying some stuff at the show.
hell yeah.
Um,
I think I have rehearsals later. And that'll be our first time collectively getting back together since we've been back home, I think.
mhm.
So we're gonna discuss like a bunch of stuff and all the merch that's gonna be over there because I honestly don't even know what we're bringing yet. So I'm sure it'll be badass though.
I love your merch designs. I follow on Instagram and everything. Like every time you post something new, I'm like, oh God, like it's so good.
Oh yeah.
But it's just the shipping over here is mad. Like that's not your guys' fault, obviously, but oh, so I'm really like, as soon as I saw you were coming to Denmark, I was like, I can get some merch.
Hell yeah. We'll bring some, and we're actually signing, I think, a new deal with a new merch company. So hopefully we're going to have a European distributor, so you won't have to pay, so much shipping from America because that was a big problem
Yeah.
with our last distributor. So our contract is finally up with them. So
Hmm. Awesome.
it'll be nice,
Well, RIP my bank account. That's
right?
great. I mentioned earlier that I play a little game with my guests at the end, and it's called Gift or Curse. It's very simple. I'm going to tell you 5 things, one at a time, and then you have to tell me whether you think that thing is a gift for the world or a curse upon the world. It's pretty simple.
Okay.
And I have a recurring question, which is number 5, and I've asked Brian Slagle this question, and my own mum, she was a guest on here, and yeah, it's for consistency. I have to keep asking people this, but it's my own fault. But you'll see when we get there.
Okay.
So number 1, pineapple on pizza, gift or curse?
First, disgusting.
I could not agree more. Do not put fruit on my pizza.
Nope. Hell no. Gross.
So you're like one of the only people that said that. I'm so glad.
I refuse. My close friend is like the pineapple anchovies guy, and I'm like, you're disgusting. Get out of my face with that.
Yeah,
It's so gross.
that's not normal.
Yeah, it's not healthy. It's nasty. So
Curse. Okay, I 100% agree. Number 2, and I ask my female guest this. Bras, gift or curse?
oof.
Yeah.
A
Ugh.
gift. It's both. Because I
Right?
have gigantic boobs, so like I have to wear one.
Exactly.
But in response to that, I get, issues with my back
Mm-hmm.
and I get headaches all the time because of the pressure, because they're like heavy and it starts to
Yeah.
weigh on my nerves, on my shoulders and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, I guess a gift for the most part.
I um yeah, I have the same issue as you, and I get like
Yeah.
strap marks, like you get, and it's God,
But
But
if I don't go out in public, I'm not wearing one. So, I
oh,
mean,
same.
yeah,
If I'm just at home, like I'm not. No, absolutely
yeah,
not.
we're not doing all that.
No way. Absolutely not. Um. Okay, I'm glad. So we're in agreement. Number three, social media, gift or curse.
Ugh, God. I would say both again.
Mm,
I can see the positive and negative and that also. It's it's a gift because, everybody's on their phone and it's quote unquote free. So you can market yourself, you can
mm,
reach people all over the world with tours. And, that's how I, essentially make money and inform people about my band and, my tattoo shop, is just posting about stuff, and keeping people in the loop. But it's also a curse because it's, I feel like I always have to stay on top of it. And, I took a little break at the beginning of this year from it, and I'm kind of getting back into work mode right now. And it's just overwhelming amounts of messages that I have not tended to. And it's just too much sometimes. And I feel like a lot of people post kind of like a fake life that they don't really have on there or whatever. And so it kind of skews people. I think it kind of fucks with people's heads a little bit.
mm,
So, it's both. For me though, for the most part, it's been a gift because, during COVID and shit, you didn't have any way to reach people, and we were a new band. So that was like primarily how we got our stuff out, was
yeah.
social media and the internet. So
Hmm.
I'd say a gift for the most part, even though
Yeah.
there's a lot of downsides to it. So
Yeah. I get that. Yeah. I mean, social media allowed me to see a picture you posted of your dog earlier when you gave him a bath in
I
all his
did.
floofy glory. What's his name?
Yeah. Eddie Spaghetti.
Adorable. Like, what breed of dog is he?
He's a Yorkie poo.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, it looks like a York, but something else mixed in as well, and I couldn't like. It's so cute, and he's so fluffy,
Yeah. He's
adorable.
an old man now, but yeah, that's my baby.
Number four, the trend of like blackout tattoos.
Ugh.
I'm covered in tattoos. I know you are as well. I personally would never have that done. I think it's a very, very extreme look. What is your opinion, gift or curse?
Um, well, I have a lot of different opinions on this.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like if you have a whole, let's say you're fully covered, okay? And let's say the person that did those tattoos, maybe on a sleeve, was abusive or ended up being a piece of shit. um, and you don't want to look at that anymore. And really, the only option for you at that point, if you don't want to go through laser
Hmm.
therapy, laser removal, is blacking that out. I get that, and I understand it.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't. Everybody's body, it's like their choice for
Hmm.
whatever they want to do. And being a tattoo artist, I have to have like some understanding of that, I guess. Like, even though I may not like it,
Hmm.
it's their body and their choice. So I have to do the best job that I can based on those things. And you know, I feel like the trend with people who have no tattoos that are getting blackout, I mean, entire arms blacked out. It's like, why are you doing that? I
Yeah.
will not understand that. And that is upsetting to me because I do feel like it's a trend right now that is getting more popular. But you're not going to be able to do anything over that
No.
um, tattoo. It's just going to be black. So that's a big, huge commitment. But again, it's their body. I've done a blackout on a half sleeve blackout on somebody, but that person just had nothing but cover ups that they
Okay.
needed on that arm. That entire arm would have just been a pain in the ass. I was like, dude, he wanted the blackout.
Mm.
So we sat there and I did it. It was interesting to do. That was my first and only one I've ever done. But you know, that made me understand, like, okay, like he is really unhappy with this arm. He hates looking at it every day. And let's try to make this a little more, you know, just cover everything up and make him happy with that part of his body again.
Yeah.
So I get it, but I don't, for the most part, I do not care for it. I know Kat Von D is blacking out her whole body right now and stuff, and
Yeah.
it it looks kind of weird to me. There's different styles people are trying to integrate into it too, like the geometric on the elbows and hands and stuff, and that's kind of cool, I guess, but it's just not for me. I don't really like that very much. So,
No. No,
yeah.
I get, and it's just, I get what you mean. Like if someone's just got this tattoo that like they don't want to look at it anymore, I understand that. But like you said, people who have no tattoos, it's just bare skin and then it's blackout. Um,
Mhm.
my friend wanted it done, and I had it on his calf, and he's got no tattoos there, and he was like, "Yeah, but I can get like some white tattoos over it," and I was like, "I'm not sure it works like that, or maybe it might, but I don't know how long it would last. Like I don't know. I'm not obviously not an
There's
expert, but I was like, have you thought this through?
Yeah, it's a
Because
big commitment. I mean,
yeah,
there's a, not to go off on a tangent, but there's a guy on Instagram that he has dedicated his body to testing the limits of blacking out tattoos and going over them. And he has blacked out his arm, put red into the black, done white over the black, and it actually is really interesting to watch his tattoo journey. But at the end of the day, it's like that's a huge commitment for most people, and that's multiple sessions, multiple touch ups. It's
mm,
like, is it really worth it, you know? So
yeah,
white, I guess, can be put over the black, but it takes a lot of contrast too, and um you know it can be done, but I mean, who knows how that's going to look in 10 years, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
um it's weird, but yeah, I agree. I don't think it's that cool looking, to be honest with you. So whatever.
yeah. That's fair enough. Yeah. Number five, my recurring one is flavored condoms, gift or curse. And yeah, I asked Brian Slagle that, and he I nearly shat myself. I was like, why? Why did I do this?
I have never, I guess, tasted a flavored condom, so I don't know. I would imagine that probably tastes pretty bad though.
Yeah.
I've only given them as like gag gifts to like friends or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can't imagine that tastes good at all. So,
I mean, the, I had this discussion with another one, and I guess like if maybe they just stuck to fruit flavors, I would kind of get it, maybe. But you can get like bacon, and you can get like
oh
like
no,
like food flavored ones. That I will never understand.
that's disgusting.
It's really gross. It's
Who
really
wants
gross.
that?
I don't know. I really don't know.
That's really gross.
Imagine that though, like God.
I don't even want to imagine that because it's so gross. I can't imagine it smells good either. So it's just like, not for me. I would think it would just be fruit flavors, like cherry or banana or some shit. But
Yeah,
yeah, bacon, that's crossing the line for me. It's too much.
100%. Like just an absolute buzzkill.
Yeah, that's gross.
Thank you very much for joining me, and
Yeah.
thank you for your time. It's been really awesome talking to you. Um, I've been a huge fan of you guys ever since Cryptovice.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
um, it was in my top albums of 2021, and I've been keeping my eye on you guys since then, and I love the way you're going, and I love to see it, and I can't wait to see you guys live because I've never seen you guys live before.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it'll be fun. We always try to put on a great show. So
Yeah, I've seen some clips, and Creeping Death I've seen before. They absolutely smash it. They're lovely
yeah.
guys, so I'm looking forward to seeing them again. But yeah, thank you very
Well,
much.
yeah. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, have a nice day.
You too. Take
Okay,
care. Thank you.
bye.